What's up, guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Shallow the Fashion Fairy. If you're just stopping by for the first time, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome back. Thanks for sticking by with me. If you want to see how I achieved this top, definitely keep watching. It's very quick and simple. See you in my tutorial.
Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
These are all we'll be needing to do this project. Please make sure that you place your fabric on fold, as you can see me do right here. So this is my fabric and is on fold. Please mark on the wrong side of your fabric for this project. So I first of all folded widthwise and I now folded lengthwise. In order to know the amount of fabric that you need as your width, you're going to do your shoulder to shoulder measurement and you're going to add the desired length of your sleeve, and that will give you exactly how much fabric you're going to be needing for this project. So right there, I'm going to divide my hip measurements by 4, and whatever I get, I am going to add 1.5 inches to it. 1 inch of ease and 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. So I got 41 inches and I divided that by 4. Please note that this hip measurement at this point is wherever you want the top to be sitting. If you're using a longer length of fabric, you may wish to mark wherever you want the fabric to sit. Ankara is just 45 inches, so I'm using the length of the Ankara. So I'm just going to determine where my waistline is, and I am marking from the top 16.5 inches, and I'm just going to mark that across board and connect that with a straight line. So now this line is now going to be my waistline. So next thing I'm going to do is to divide my waist measurement by 4, and I am going to add 3 inches of ease to this measurement. Now this 3 inches of ease is totally up to you. If you want it a bit more fitted, you may consider adding less allowance, but I really want this to be free, so I added 3 inches to my waist measurement, and I'm just going to connect that to my hip line. So now that we've gotten that sorted, we're going to divide my shoulder to shoulder measurement by 2. My shoulder to shoulder measurement is 15. Divide that by 2, you have 7.5, and I'm just going to remove 1/2 inch from that 7.5, making it 7 inches, and that's the mark that I've placed there. For the depth of my neckline, I decided to go with 3.5, but this is your choice really. It can be 5 inches, it can be 6 inches, but please do not make it so deep so that it doesn't fall off your shoulder. So for this project, I'm going to use 3.5 inches as my depth. So from my waistline, I am marking 3 inches down, and I am going to connect it with this lazy curve up to that point. So now that we've gotten this sorted, we're going to mark from this point the length of the sleeve that we intend to use. Because I want this to really be a big balloon, I want to mark 26 inches so that by the time I drag it up, it's going to create a very big balloon. But if you're not an exaggerated person like I am, please, you would consider using lesser length for this part. So now that I've marked it, I joined it to the waistline, and on that point right there, I am going to take it 2 inches upwards, and I'm going to connect it from this point to that point right there with a lazy curve. Having done that, the next thing is to cut out this project. Cut. If you're still here, guys, please consider subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to click on the notification bell to get alerted whenever I have new tutorials. So now that we've cut it, the next step is to open up the sleeves. So how are we going to do this? I want you to mark 1/2 inch from that end to the other side. So from here, I'm going to measure 1/2 inch down, and I'm going to connect it all the way to that my shoulder measurement right there. So 1/2 inch at that very edge, and I'm connecting it to this very point, and I'm just going to slash it open so that we can create our front and our back pieces. Please, at this point, don't cut out the neckline. Remember that we're working with a symmetric neckline, so we don't want to cut that just yet. But I would want you to make a notch at this point if you're a beginner, just to know exactly where the neckline is, the shoulder to shoulder measurement is. So here I'm just going to make a tiny notch right here. You may also want to make a notch in the middle of this part, this top, just to make sure you know exactly where the middle point is. But because I ironed mine, it was pretty easy for me to know exactly where the middle point is, because it created a line. So this is me matching the notches to make sure everything is all prim and proper, and I'm just going to go ahead to create our asymmetric neckline. So please pay attention. From this point, I'm going to mark 3.5 inches, and I'm just going to draw a line. And from the middle point, that's me trying to show you that this is my middle point, I'm still going to mark 3.5 inches here. And from this point, I am connecting it right to this point right here. I hope that was clear. From my shoulder to shoulder point, I marked 3 inches down on one side, and I connected it from my other shoulder to shoulder point to the other side, making sure I had 3.5 inches in the middle. So that's the middle I'm showing you right there. So I've taken this out, and we've created our neckline. Voila. And we're just going to go ahead and stitch all these parts and the sides as well, and we're going to fold the hem, stitch all the way through, and that's it basically. So the next step is that we're going to try to create our facing for this project. So we're just going to get a piece of fabric. If you don't have enough left, you can use a lining or whatever fabric that you have that is matching the colors, and you just place it on fold as you have seen me do right here. Just put the fabric on fold. We're just putting it on fold just to get 2 pieces, so you do not necessarily need to cut it on fold. So this is me placing it right here, and I'm just going to use my chalk to trace out the neckline. So now that I'm done tracing off the neckline, I'm just going to go in with my tape to make sure I have the same measurements all through my facing. So I'm just going to take 4 inches all the way around. So I'm marking 4 inches all the way, and I'm just going to connect it, and we have our facing. Our facing is ready. So let's quickly cut this out. So now that we're done cutting out the facing, we're just going to grab our top, and right sides facing each other, we are going to go in to our sewing machine and run a stitch on it. So remember, it's right sides facing each other. So you're just going to quickly run a stitch with your machine there, and you may want to fold in here, or you can use your interlocking machine and do an interlock there. So I've already quickly gone ahead to do one side. I used my interlocking machine to do that, and I also used a trick which I'm about to show you right now. So after stitching this part down, what I did was I ran a top stitch right there just to make sure everything is all tucked in, and then I also went ahead to use hemming web. That's what it's called, a hemming web or a hemming glue, and I just encased it into between the facing and my top. And what I did was I went ahead to use a hot iron to iron it flat. Then this is how to run a neckline so that it does not keep shifting. So I've already gone ahead to do that as well, and I'll also run a stitch using 1/4 inch to do that, to join the two together. So here we're just going to create a casing for elastic. So you fold in 1/2 inch and you're going to turn 3/4 inch. Please make sure you interlock that part before you fold it in. So I already did my interlocking and I have done the casing for my elastic. So the next step is to pass my elastic through that tunnel. So this is me showing you that whatever I did on one hand, I also did it on the other hand as well. So when we are done with that, we're just going to go ahead and finish this project. So the next step, this is actually optional. I just wanted to add a little bit of glam to the sleeves. So what I decided to do at this point was to do a pinch and sew technique. So you pinch it and then pin it, and after you do that, you're just going to go straight to your sewing machine, and as you're removing the pins, you are exchanging it with some stitches. So you just run it back and forth and you stitch it just to give it a little bit of an edge. I just don't like simple things, sha. Okay, so this is totally optional. Like I said, you can skip this part if you want, but I just wanted to add something different. So you pinch and you hold it with the pin, you pinch again and you hold it, and then you go to your sewing machine and you're just going to replace those with stitches. If you're still here, guys, kindly like my video and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. So we're done, and this is what the outside looks like, and I'm just going to do the same thing to the other sleeve as well. So here's my elastic and here is my safety pin. So how would you know what to use, the exact measurement? So you go to wherever you want your sleeve to sit and you're just going to use your elastic. This is me making sure it's not too tight, so you loosen it and adjust it the way you want, fold it, and you cut 2 pieces, 1 for each sleeve. Now we're done cutting, we're just going to go in with our safety pin, and through that channel we created that time, we're just going to pass this through and bring it out on the other side. See you on the other side, guys. Oh yeah. Okay, the same thing you do for this sleeve, you're just going to do for the other one as well. So I've gone ahead to do that off camera, and this is what we have at the end of the day. Now this part is tricky, you just have to be careful doing this. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to pull it a bit till we get to here, and I'm just going to use my pin to secure here, because what we're trying to do is to replace the pins with stitches so as to hold the elastic firmly in place. So I'm just going to do that to this side as well, and I'm going to head over to my sewing machine and I'm going to replace those with stitches. I've gone ahead to do that, and I've also attached the other side. I ran a stitch the other side using 1/2 inch sewing allowance that I added previously. This is me showing you that I used 1/2 inch to attach it, and I folded the hem as well. And like that, we're done with this project. Oh, this is so beautiful. Let me know if you try this out. Please leave your comments in the comment section. I can't wait to see you again in my next tutorial. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.